So good day everyone. In today's video is we are going to discuss about the linear models of curriculum development, the cyclical models of curriculum development, and the last one is the dynamics models of curriculum development. But before that, let us introduce ourselves. So my name is Darwin Santos.
My name is April Joy Otaganas.
My name is Kyle Kenneth Desus Pakanji.
So since there are three models of curriculum development, so the linear curriculum development will be discussed by Kalpakanji, and the cyclical models of curriculum development will be discussed by April Joy Taganas, and the dynamics models of curriculum development will discussed by me. So before we discuss about this topic is we really make sure that we have research about this topic so that we conclude in our discussions. So let's get started. So Pakanji, it's your turn to discuss your topic.
The first type of curriculum model is the linear models of curriculum. This model prescribes a rational step-by-step procedure for curriculum development starting with objectives. The linear curriculum models includes the following models. First is Tyler's rational linear model. Present a process of curriculum development that follows sequential patterns starting from selecting objectives to selecting learning experiences. Strength. Clearly stated objectives a good place to begin. Weaknesses. The objectives has flaws in terms of reality of curriculum development, which is rarely a fix of linear process. Second, Taba's grassroots rational models. A modified model of Tyler's model. She argued that curriculum development should follow a sequential and logical process, and she suggested for more information input outpace. Strengths. The one who have to teach curriculum will develop it. Weaknesses. Approach methodologies of different teachers are different. Third, standard-based curriculum development model, where the model was intended for curriculum standards for any discipline from basic education to higher education. Strength. The model extends itself up to a development of scope and sequence, which is important for planning instruction and for deciding on specific contents and objectives. Weaknesses. This model is rational and descriptive, stressing the development of standards as the first activity in the curriculum development. Fourth, understanding by design model, also called backward design for putting emphasis on starting with goals and objectives in designing curriculum. Strength. It can help the Commission on Higher Education, particularly the teacher education institution, to revise the existing curriculum to focus on the higher understanding rather than prescribing subject and course descriptions. Weaknesses. The model is fixed at accepting what standards are prescribed by the government on the education. Fifth, systematic design model. Include two basic phases, the evaluation. Diamond explained that ideally some actions must produce others and certain decisions should not be made until relevant are known. Strength. This model be used in any level of curriculum development, local, college, wide, or national. Very practical to apply the model in the Philippines. Weaknesses. These models describes process of curriculum development on a macro level. However, it's not clear where the philosophy of the institution of the curriculum will come into play. And the last is Morai Print Model of Curriculum. Prescribes a sequential and logical approach to curriculum development to provide a useful and easy to understand process in developing curriculum. Strength. The inclusion of instructional evaluation in the development process makes this model unique. Weaknesses. Should establish a stronger link between the curriculum presage and the situational analysis. The model gives an impression that curriculum presage has no direct effect or relationship with situational analysis.
Is that all, Pakanji?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for your wonderful ideas about your topic. So, it's your turn, Joy.
Cyclical models of curriculum development. Cyclical models is prescribes a cyclical or continuous process of curriculum development. Cyclical models usually start with situational analysis that serves as the basis for the succeeding process. Nichols and Nichols model for curriculum development. This model emphasizes the cyclical nature of curriculum development, where it is a continuous process. The model prescribes 5 logical and interdependent stages that are continuous curriculum development process, and the model starts with a situational analysis in which curricular decisions are followed by the selection of objectives and the other succeeding phases. Strengths. Time-consuming. Situational analysis is difficult. Too much flexibility. Weaknesses. Situational analysis provides the context of the curriculum. Interdependent curricular elements. Flexible, gives opportunity to revisit and reform. Second, Wheeler's curriculum development model. Wheeler's curriculum development model in his book Curriculum Process presented a cyclical process in which each element of the curriculum is related and interdependent. Although this model is rational in nature, each phase is a logical development of the preceding one, which one cannot proceed to the next phase unless the preceding phase is done. Wheeler also emphasized the importance of starting from the development of aims, goals, and objectives. Strengths. It has a feedback mechanism, so it provides students with ways to measure their progress accuracy. It also sets the school objectives as a final steps and as well as the first. It clearly calls off the setting up of objectives. Weaknesses. The objectives includes behavioral characteristics. Behavioral objectives have some limitation on execution. It seems to lack a procedure between organizing and integrating learning experience, content, and evaluation. Third, the contextual filters model of course planning. The contextual filters model of course planning is the title contextual filters model was chosen to convey the teacher's disciplinary views and related assumptions are stable antecedents to course planning. Strengths. Contextual learning motivates and encourages the learners to introspect and explore their talent and learning. They will able to express themselves with precision and confidence and will thus achieve high standards in school and universities. Weaknesses. Curriculum implementation refers to how teachers deliver instructions and assessment through the use of specified resources provided in a curriculum. Curriculum designs generally provide instructional suggestions, scripts, lesson plans, and assessment options related to the set of objectives. That's all.
So that's the end of the discussions of cyclical models of curriculum development. So let me now proceed to my topic, which is dynamic models of curriculum development. So what is dynamic model of curriculum development? So dynamic model of curriculum development is advocated by Walker in 1972, Skellbeck in 1976, and Stenhouse in 1975. It sees the process of curriculum development as dynamic in nature. Changes can be initiated from any point in the process, unlike the objectives model where the beginning is always the setting of objectives. In dynamic models of curriculum development there are four models of curriculum development. First is Walker models of curriculum development, second is Skellbeck curriculum development model, and the third is Eisner's artistic approach to curriculum development, and the last one is Pauline's models for developing curriculum. So the name of Walker is Decker Walker. Decker Walker was an assistant professor of education of Stanford University, where he received his PhD in 1971. His specialty was curriculum. And his major interests are the process of curriculum development and curriculum policymaking. So his models comprises of three phases of curriculum planning. First is platform, the second is deliberation, and the third one is design. So in platforms, there are beliefs. So in platform, there are beliefs, theories, conceptions, point of views, aims, and objectives. And in deliberations, it is applying them to practical situations, arguing about, accepting, refusing, changing, and adapting. And curriculum design is making decisions about the various process components. In Walker models of curriculum development has strengths and also weaknesses. So these are the strengths. Wheeler models take new information into account, has a feedback mechanism, view elements of curriculum as interconnected pieces, and emphasize on situational analysis. These are the main advantage of Wheeler model. However, Wheeler model is also time-consuming and can be difficult to put into practice. And its weaknesses. It is confusing to other curriculum workers who are not aware of the necessary process of curriculum development. It may not have value to teachers who are implementers of the curriculum developed by other educators. So let's now proceed to Skellbeck's curriculum development model. So Skellbeck is a world authority on education and works in educational policy analysis, curriculum, tertiary and secondary education, the teaching professions, and education innovations. Skellbeck received his BA from University of Sydney, his MA from University of Illinois and Philippines. So Skellbeck's curriculum development models is a model that locates curriculum design and development firmly within a cultural framework. It views such design as means whereby teachers modify and transform you feel experience through providing insights into cultural values, interpretative frameworks, and symbolic systems. Skelbeck's curriculum development also has strengths and weaknesses. So these are the strengths. Curriculum developer can begin with any of the elements the model allows curriculum. Developer to change the order of planning to move to and for amongst curriculum elements. And the last one is more realistic, feasible ways of handling curriculum development. And its weaknesses are appears confusing and seems to lack direction, confusion rather than clarity, and lack of impassions, the constructions and use of objectives. So that's the Skelbeck's curriculum development model. So let's now proceed to Eisner's artistic approach to curriculum development. Eisner was born in Chicago on March 10, 1933. Eisner proposed that the forms of thinking needed to create artistic work were relevant to all aspects of education, incorporating methods from the arts into teaching of all subjects would cultivate a richer educational experience, he said. Eisner's artistic approach to curriculum development is among other contributions in the field of curriculum. Eisner coined the term cognitive pluralism as among the orientations to curriculum. This perspective highlights the idea that students should be afforded opportunities to learn and communicate their understandings through various forms of representations. So, Eisner's artistic approach to curriculum development has also the strengths and its weaknesses. So the strength is students like it fits in their idea they learned, and the weaknesses is consider the needs of individual students. So let's now proceed to Paulin's models for developing curriculum. So there are three curriculum sources in the models of Paulin's model for developing curriculum. These three sources are learners, society, and disciplines. These curriculum sources are based on the models of situational analysis, selection of goals and objectives, and the third one is development of curriculum standards. In Paulin's model for developing curriculums has also strengths and weaknesses. So the strength is it demonstrates clear focus of centrally controlled, and the weaknesses is teachers' improvement is limited within planning and evaluations. Okay, so that's the end of the discussions in today's video. So I hope every one of you has learning about our discussions. So let us say goodbye to everyone.